Good morning, students. This is our next video for class 9 C, and the chapter is Physical Features of India. Students, as we have done the explanation, now there are some NCERT questions which are remain. So I want to discuss with you that how these questions should be done. Okay, so the question number third from your NCERT from chapter Physical Feature of India is you have to distinguish between converging and diverging tectonic plates. So, student, what are the diverging tectonic plates? As you can see, the plates when move away from each other are known as diverging plates. You can see that there are two plates, plate 1 and plate 2. And the arrow, they are just going away from each other. Okay, they are going away, moving from each other. That's why the plate 1 is going in this direction and another plate is going in another direction, so they are separating actually. So these plates are known as diverging tectonic plates which are moving away from each other. Second, this causes fractures in the crust, and when it happens, then it results the fractures in the crust of earth. Third, they form divergent boundary. Obviously, diverging tectonic plates formed the divergent boundaries. Fourth, these spread over the ocean floor. Where you can be having these spread the diverging tectonic plates spread over the ocean floor. Okay, now converging tectonic plates. The plates, when pushed together to each other, are known as converging plates. You can see that there are also plate 1 and plate 2, but the difference that these two plates are coming to each other and then they are forming a convergent boundary. So, the plates, when pushed together to each other, when they are pushing to each other, is known as converging tectonic plates. Second feature of converging tectonic plates, they causes flood. When it happens, when there is a formation of converging tectonic plates, they cause results in the floods. Okay, they form a convergent boundary. Obviously, as they are the converging tectonic plates, so they form a convergent boundary. Another feature of convergent tectonic plates is these spread or form mountains. Which form of mountains? The converging tectonic plates form mountains. Okay. Now this next part of this question, distinguish between Bhangar and Khadar. The student, both are alluvial soil. Okay, the Bhangar soil are formed in higher reaches about 30 millimeter above of the flood level. Okay, these soils are coarser in texture. It is found in the large part of northern India. The Bangar soil is the soil which used to be found in a large amount in northern area, and this soil is you can be having these soils in the higher reaches and 30 millimeter above of the flood level. Now the Khadar soil, it is younger alluvium soil. Bhangar soil is the old alluvial soil and the Khadar is a younger alluvium soil. It is finer. Khadar soil is finer, more sandy and free from conker nodules. Khadar soil is not having any type of conker or nodules. Okay. Third, Khadar soil are found in the low areas of the valley, bottom of valley, which are flooded every year. In the valley area, which flooded every year, you can be having the availability of khadar soil. Okay. Now the another question of distinguish between western ghats and the eastern ghats. The students, as during the Zoom meeting, many of you are asking me the question how it has to be done. That's why I have especially made this video to help you, to give you the idea that how what should be the standard of your answer and what should be the words limit. So the third part of your question, where you have to differentiate between western ghats and eastern ghats, is the western ghat lies on the western margin of the Deccan Plateau, while the eastern lies on the eastern margin of Deccan Plateau. Okay. The western ghats are higher in elevation. Their average elevation is from 900 to 1600 meter. The Eastern Ghats are lower in elevation. Elevation means that they are from a particular point from the sea level, how much they elevated, how much height they are having. And the Eastern Ghat, their average elevation is 600 meter. So in Eastern Ghats, the elevation of this ghat is lower than Western Ghats. Now, Western Ghats, you can understand what is elevation, as it is the highest, this is the sea level, okay, and it is aeroplane. When we are seeing the height of aeroplane from this, it is known as altitude, okay, and then elevation is that it is from the sea level, above the sea level. This area is known as elevation, and this is a land mass, okay, and then it is again a aeroplane and we are observing its height from the land, so it is known as height. There is a difference between height, altitude and elevation. Now, in Western Ghats have a continuous chain of mountains and can be crossed through passes only. Okay. The mountains chains in Eastern Ghats are not continuous and are denuded by the rivers which flow into Bay of Bengal. Okay. They are just, you can say, denuded, formed again and again and by the rivers, and ultimately these rivers where they merge, they just flow into the Bay of Bengal. Now, in Western Ghat, no major river has cut across them. Okay, there is no important or any river which cut across these Western Ghat, while the Eastern Ghat, they have been cut across by Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna and Kaveri. Okay, so this is the distinguish between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Now the next question of this NCERT, describe how the Himalayas were formed. It is very important question that you have to describe how the Himalaya is to be formed. Through a diagrammatic way, I tried to explain you. You can make it in the same way or you can convert it into the theory. Okay. So, formation of Himalayas, student, the first step that about 220 million years ago, India was a part of Gondwana land. You know that the oldest land mass was known as Gondwana land, and India is also the part of this land mass. This land located in southern hemisphere. Where this land mass is located? This land mass is the Gondwana land is located in southern hemisphere. Now the third step, we are studying that how the Himalaya has formed. Okay. Now at third step, due to the convection current of the mantle, this land fractured in so many pieces. After the convection current, this Gondwana piece of land fractured, divided into so many pieces. After that, the Indo-Australian plate, after getting separated from Gondwana land, and it results that the Indo-Australian plate gets separated from Gondwana land and drifted toward the north. And where it has shifted, this Indo-Australian plate shifted to the north side. Now, the Indo-Australian plate collided with the much larger Eurasian plate. Now, what had happened? When the Indo-Australian plate gets separated towards the north, then it collapsed with the Eurasian plates, and then northern edge of the Indo-Australian plate was pushed beneath the Eurasian plate. And what happened? Then after that, this Indo-Australian plate pushed under the Eurasian plate. Under the impact of the collision, the sedimentary rocks of the enclosed ocean were folded to form a mountain system of Central Asia, including the Himalayas, and ultimately, under the impact of the collision, when they collide, the sedimentary rocks of the enclosed ocean were folded. Okay, sedimentary rocks get folded and then they form the mountain system, a system of mountain of Central Asia, which included the formation of Himalayas, and in this way the Himalayas formed. So student, through the various steps you come to know that how the Himalaya is to be in existence, and you can for the understanding purpose you can understand it through this diagram, and you can convert it into theory or paragraph also. Now the next question of the chapter, which are major physiographic division of India? Okay, contrast the relief of Himalaya region with that of peninsular region. Everything is given in your book, but for your more help, I have drawn this answer. Rest of the question are very easy, which you have easily you can get from the book, which I will give you as your homework. Okay, on Monday. The major physiographic division of India, as you can see, the Himalayan mountain, the peninsular plateau, the coastal plain, the northern plain, the Indian desert, and islands. So these are the main physiographic division of India. Now the difference between the Himalayan region and the peninsular plateau or region, that the Himalayan region are having the young fold mountains, okay, while in the peninsular plateau region these are the part of the oldest structure of the earth crust. In the Himalayan region, these are formed of sedimentary rocks, as I have explained you in the previous question, that because of the sedimentary rock the Himalayas are formed. The peninsular region are formed of the igneous and metamorphic rocks. So peninsular plateau region is made up of which type of rocks? Igneous and metamorphic rock. In this way they are different. Now in the Himalayan region we are having three parallel ranges: Himadri, Himachal and Shivalik. While the peninsular region consists of two sections. First is the Central Highland and second is the Deccan Plateau. Okay. In the Himalayan region, the another important feature is that mostly glacier and passes are found in this region, in Himalayan region. And in peninsular region, glaciers and passes are not found in peninsular region. Now in Himalayan region these contain the highest mountain, we know that, है ना, and in peninsular these are formed of low hills. Okay, so this is the another difference between Himalayan region and the peninsular region. The last difference between Himalayan region, Himalayan area, and the peninsular region is, in Himalayan region it is the origin of perennial rivers, okay, and the peninsular region it has rain fed seasonal rivers. So here are rivers which are seasonal in nature, while in Himalaya there are throughout 12 months the rain flows continuously. Okay, so these are the some question which I tried to, before ending the chapter, first explain with you through the various way, so that with the diagram, so that you can understand that what you have to need to write, what you have to find out from the book, what is important as far as the question is related. Okay, now the another question in book is, another question in your book is that where give an account of northern plains of India. Next question is write short notes on the following: the Indian desert, the Central Highland, and the island group of India. Okay, so these things you are having heading wise in the book, where you can write down important thing from the book itself. So these question you have to do your own, you are having book and you have to find out. Okay, so in this way students, this chapter will be completed as far as the NCERT questions are concerned. We will start another section of SST in next video. Till then, take care and please do your homework in a proper way and read the book.